All right. All right. And here we go. Once upon a time, not long ago, let me let these people in. Let these people in. Why don't y'all come on in? Let me. All right. Got a few people that came on in. Peace and love. Peace and love. What's going on? Yeah, we about to push that. We about to take this off right here. This about to come up off. This about to come up off you. Yep, you're gonna be looking like big homie right here in just a moment. That's all I'm saying. We about to go. We about to do a little bit of diving. You know what I'm saying? I know this is unexpected. It's a Monday. You know what I'm saying? It's noon. It's like folks at work. People ain't getting notifications. But let me tell you something. If you know any of your people, your family that jump on these lives, you better let them know we're gonna do a couple things. It's gonna be up, afterwards anyway. You know what I'm saying? Ah, the kidneys roll up in it. Yeah, there's a role for the kidney in there. You got to go on my Patreon. That's for all of the my Sharona. Boom 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 boom. My. That's where you're gonna find all the my Sharona information at. Okay. Um, we gonna talk about, we getting into some quantum. We're getting into the quantum realm. Peace and love to everybody who is jumping on in. Thank all of you who have been jumping on the site. You know what I'm saying? Let me get them likes up now. As you come in, hit the like button. If you ain't subscribing, don't be no subliminal ninja. You know what I'm saying? Don't do it. Don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Just go on and subscribe if you haven't. You know what I'm saying? Share the video, share the information. This is going to be some powerful stuff right here. I'm jumping in, I'm jumping out. Love and light to all of you who are coming up in here. Hit the like button, leave a comment below. Link is in the description. Anybody interested in getting none other than some Nesut Nectar? Yes, yes. This is the Nesut Nectar. This is the 200 plus compound magnificent serum of God right here. And if you need some, it is on the site. And everybody who gets it say it's the best honey they ever tasted. Everybody who gets it says their eyes are better, dreams are better, visions are better, hearing is better, skin is better. Everything's better. It's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? And it's wonderful. How y'all like my new mic? How's my sound? Can I get some? Can I get some? Can I get some feedback? How's my sound? What I sound like? You know what I'm saying? Do you get my? Am I smoother? Am I a little smoother on the microphone as I speak to the people? As I speak to y'all on this brand new microphone? Let me know whether or not KT the Arch Degrees voice is nice and smooth. Can y'all hear me? Can I get some feedback? Some thumbs up? Let me know how clear it is. You know what I'm saying? Is it good? Is it nice? So y'all gonna be able to attain the lessons that I'm about to drop on y'all head with this tone. I think I might just stay right here the whole way. Yeah. Nah, I'm just playing around. All right. I got some people up in here, man. So we just gonna jump right into this thing. I ain't playing. I ain't playing. I ain't playing. Let's go because I'm excited to share this with y'all. All right. And it's KT initials, not Katie, like a cousin to a Karen. Like, let's not do that. All right, cool. All right, so this is where we about to begin. All right, so we are talking about quantum biophysics today. Okay, quantum biophysics. All right, biophysics. Quantum biophysics, exploring the quantum nature of the human body. Welcome to the amazing world of quantum biophysics and discover the fascinating quantum phenomena that governs our body and change the way we see ourselves. Okay, bye. Mwah. All right. All right. Now, what is biophysics? Okay. What is biophysics? What is quantum biophysics? So, in order for us to understand what quantum biophysics is, we're going to have to talk about what quantum mechanics is. And we got to talk about what biophysics is. And then we can talk about what quantum biophysics is. Okay. So, you put A and B together, what you get? The alphabet. Yay. Okay. You a 70s baby? Well, I know I'm bringing you back. I ain't never left. Peace, peace, Thanos. All right. Oh yeah, I'm about to drop mad PDFs and a couple videos today. Okay, so you got a whole lot coming. I just dropped that quiz up in there. That was a doozy for some people. I don't think it was much, but I'm still going over everybody's results, and some hasn't even started taking it yet. So we're gonna see. All right. A branch of physics. This is quantum mechanics, a branch of physics, all right, that deals with the behavior of matter and energy at the atomic and subatomic scale. It is a fundamental theory that describes the properties and the interactions of particles such as electrons and photons. They're going to leave neutrons and protons out there in terms of quantized states and probabilities. Okay. Quantized states and probabilities. So when we're talking about the fundamental properties and the interactions, you know what I mean? Things have certain properties, characteristics, behaviors, and then there's a certain way that things interact. So think of people. People have a certain character, they got a certain behavior pattern. But when you put different characters and different behavior patterns of people together, they have specific interactions they have with one another. All right. And then it's all about talking the probabilities of things. And as I spoke of before, yes, university, that's right. And when I spoke of before in regards to superposition, a good example of superposition is flipping a coin or shuffling a deck of cards. You know what I'm saying? As that coin is flipping in the air, as those cards are getting shuffled, guess what? You don't know what it's going to be. So it's actually everything, everywhere, all at once at that point until you're done shuffling, until the coin falls in your hand and you look at it and you observe the wave collapses into a particle. All right. Biophysics, again, some examples of quantum mechanics is, of course, superposition, quantum entanglement, you know what I mean? Schrodinger's cat, you know what I mean? The slit experiment. These are all quantum mechanics. Oh, yeah. And then quantum computing, dealing with qubits, in the four states, um, of the or four states of spin, and then the qubit of the 1 to 0 and the 1 to 0 at the same time. All right. So, biophysics is the interdisciplinary science that combines the principles and the methods of physics with the study of biological systems. It aims to understand how the physical properties and behavior of molecules, cells, organisms are related to their function and regulation. So, you take the concept of physics and then you integrate that into biology. And now you have biophysics, so that you're not just dealing with biochemistry, and you're not just dealing with simplistic natures of defining the body. You're getting into just more profound laws that exist, that are able to define the phenomena that is amazing inside our body. And I guarantee you, by the time we get to the end of this presentation, you will not believe what the body is capable of doing. And to think that this is only part one will blow your mind, because when I get into part two, in the second chapter, this is going to take you even further. You know what I mean? I know it's been a while since I've been on the channel. I did a couple videos with Brother Rich over on Black Magic. If y'all ain't seen it, go check them out. We did a fast joint. We did a biology of love joint. We did the fast God and guts, the biology of love, the multiverse with red and blue and human, and AA popped in for a quick hot second, and then structured water. So there's 4 videos over there I was doing. I did some interviews on IG. I've been working on university material. I've been dealing with the website. I still formulate things, and then I gotta put some research and study in myself. Peace and love for everybody pouring in. For those pouring in that are coming on in, go and hit that like button as you come in this thing. All right. So quantum biophysics seeks to apply principles, concepts, and quantum mechanics to the study of biological systems. Okay. This area of research aims to understand the role of quantum phenomena in living organisms and the mechanisms by which they influence various biological processes. So you're taking quantum mechanics, you taking biophysics, and you putting those 2 principles together to come up with quantum biophysics. Okay. That QB. Okay, that QB love. All right, so what we're going to start with? We're going to start with the Casimir effect. All right, I like calling it the cashmere effect because that's what the word looks like to me. It looks like cashmere, but is the Casimir effect. Okay, so the Casimir effect is a strange force that happens between 2 very close flat surfaces in empty space. Okay, you see this a lot in capacitors. Okay. In empty space, there are these tiny temporary particles called virtual particles that constantly pop in and out of existence. And then we got to keep in mind ether. You know what I mean? There is something in what connects us all. Okay, we're not in a vacuum. Even when there's a vacuum, there's still the ether. Okay, there's no removing of the ether. All right. Imagine the surfaces. Okay, this is an analogy so you can understand what I mean by the definition. Imagine the surfaces. Okay, as 2 boats floating on a lake where the water waves are like virtual particles, because what waves, they go in and out, right? When the boats get really close to each other, there are fewer waves between them, but the waves outside the boats keep splashing. So think of 2 boats coming in proximity to one another. As they get closer, the waves in between are not going to be as prominent as the waves around and behind the boats. Okay. So there's bigger waves around the boats than there are between the boats. Okay. The difference in the number of waves makes the boats drift towards each other, just like the Casimir effect causes a force between the 2 surfaces. All right. So we see this where we'll see this in the body. I'm gonna give examples of where we would see this in the body. We're gonna see this in protein folding. Okay, protein folding. So when you're dealing with the creation of proteins and you're going from amino acids into a complex protein, a protein starts off with a string of pearls. All right, and each one of those pearls are amino acids that are strung together by, pardon me, transfer RNA, tRNA. And this is the primary structure. Okay, so you got a primary structure, you have a secondary structure, you have a tertiary structure, you have a quaternary structure of alpha sheets. Okay, beta sheets. Okay, or alpha helixes, I'm sorry, beta sheets, and then you get into more complex foldings. As you're building these very complex nano machines, these nano engines, these nano motors, these nano tools that your body uses. Okay, now for those coming in, go and hit that like button. Hit that like button. Give me some love. Links to Nesut Nectar is in the description. Go and get you some. Go and get you some. Now, you might not be able to drink as much as me on a daily basis because something got to feed this afro. You know what I'm saying? But I do have enough for y'all to keep that DNA protected. And if you really want to know about the DNA and the senolytic properties of the trehallulose and other components in that honey. Go on my IG, my most recent post. I go into detail in that. All right, so the Casimir effect could potentially influence the way proteins fold in the human body. As proteins fold, the distance between different regions of the protein may change, possibly altering the Casimir's forces between them and affecting the final structure of the protein. Okay, enzymes are biological catalysts that speed up chemical reactions in the body. Okay, the Casimir effect may play a role in enzyme catalysts by influencing the interactions between the enzyme and its substrate molecules. The attractive forces between the enzymes and substrate may help position them correctly for the reaction to occur. All right. If you're interested in the blue honey, okay, you're going to DM me on IG and I will provide you with a private email address. Okay. So that's what you got to do for that. Cell membranes. Cell membranes consist of lipid bilayers, okay, phospholipid bilayers to be exact, with embedded proteins. The Casimir effect could contribute to the stability of the membrane by creating an attractive force between the lipid molecules or between the lipid molecules and embedded proteins. This force could help maintain the integrity of the membrane, ensuring proper cellular function. Okay. And then lastly, we got intracellular transport, okay, where the Casimir effect could potentially play a role in the transport of molecules within cells. The attractive force between molecules and cellular surface, for examples, the organelles, the cytoskeleton, could influence the movement of these molecules within the cells, affecting processes like signal transduction or the transport of nutrients and waste products. So, in us talking about quantum biophysics, I am giving y'all the game on health and wellness. See, if you understand how your body works on the most microscopic Planck scale level, then you can step that up into the level you are. If you vibrate and take care of things on that, remember, our body is a full functioning result, okay, of an algorithm that is set on a baseline. All right. So you can manipulate the algorithm. You can focus on the code. Thus, the product end up being exactly what you want, as opposed to trying to fix the product on top level. Why you want to fix the product on the top level when you could deal with the algorithm, and then the top level will be a result of that. Okay. Yeah. I've been saying they should have called it Chat KT. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, dog. You feel me? All right. So we got the protein folding. All right. Protein folding occurs as the protein is moving from its primary to the secondary to the tertiary to the quaternary structure, going from a simplistic string of pearls of amino acids as in peptides, okay, and then moving on into the actual protein form, such as a thing as complex as, where's my homie at? I love bringing my big homie at. You know, we're going to talk about him in a minute too. You know what I'm saying? ATP synthase. Okay. Look how complex of a protein this is. Do you know how many amino acids it takes to make this? You know how many different protein subsections, how many different parts there are to make this full structure? And you have so many of them. You got billions of these, trillions of these in your brain and in your heart. Okay. So you got ridiculous amounts of power. You got enough power to call lightning down from the clouds. You have enough power to produce lightning straight out of your body. You see what I'm saying? But of course, we have protocols and things in place that got us locked in, and the distractions and the grounding and the dissipation of energy based on the incoherence of thought and thinking prevents us from being able to do that. All right. So that's the protein folding aspect that it can help with. And enzymes speed up chemical reactions, where it takes chemical reactions where it would normally probably take 100 years to do it down to 5 seconds. You know what I'm saying? Cell membranes and keeping the integrity of the membrane. The membrane is the skin. It keeps the form, and it's the membrane, mem being water, brain being You know what a brain is. So we're talking about the water, and I spoke about this on structured water, that consciousness, okay, is the broadcast, okay, which is kind of a glue of the spirit, okay, of the spirit and consciousness, okay, consciousness and spirit as a glue together, being what you would see or identify as the broadcast. Your soul is the signal, and water is an antenna, okay, and the phospholipid bilayer is a brain. So a brain, a membrane, a brain, a brain, what is it called? Interpreting, a brain interpreting antenna. Okay, this membrane has the ability to interpret the waters, the difference of the waters outside the firmament versus the difference of the waters inside the firmament, or the difference of the antenna on the outside versus the antenna on the inside. And what is an antenna for? It is there to be able to decipher and distinguish signals. Okay, signals. And in intracellular transport, you know what I'm saying? The mechanism in which ions, anions, cations, positive, negative charged minerals and particulates are able to move in and out of the cells. All right. Let me get some like, let me get some love. And like I said, for those of y'all that want to donate the KT to Arts degree, you will notice I don't put cash apps up. Yeah, I don't put Zells up. I don't put none of that up. You know what I put up? This is what I put up. Let me show you what I put up. This is what I put up. I put up the website. Okay. The link is in the description. All right. So if y'all want to support, this way it's reciprocated. 'Cause I know how energy works. You know what I'm saying? Energy is a reciprocatory fundamental force. And I would rather you go ahead and get something from the site, because you'll be supporting me, you're supporting yourself at the same time, even though you're getting this. But guess what? I don't got none of this without y'all being here taking it in. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Oh, we got the UK in the building. Huh? Peace to the UK. That was my horrible UK accent right there. All right, so let's keep it pushing forward. All right, so now we're gonna move into H3O2. Okay, H3O2, otherwise known as the hydrated. Because you got a lot of doctors, you got scientists, you got people that may say that there's no such thing as H3O2, or that's not structured water, it don't exist, but it does. Okay, and it is called the hydrated anion of hydronium, okay, or the bihydroxide anion. And it exists. It exists for years in experimentation. They got a lot of experiments that deal with it being a transporter for zinc, which deals with DNA synthesis. You know what I'm saying? And yes, it's a structural component of the fourth phase of water. All right. So discover H3O2 in the fourth phase of water. We know water to have three phases normally: liquid, solid, and gas, but there is a fourth phase, okay, of a gelatinous, supercooled, structured, or easy, known as exclusion zone, because it excludes all solutes from it except for the negative ion hexagonal lattice layers that it builds around hydrophilic surfaces. So discover the exclusion zone, a kind of structured water that exists next to hydrophilic surfaces and exhibits unique properties. H3O2 can be thought of as a water molecule with an extra hydrogen ion attached to it, which gives it a net negative charge. This makes it an anion, or a negatively charged ion. The H3O plus ion, hydronium ion, is also present in water and is formed when a water molecule gives a hydrogen ion. So this is a whole dynamic that occurs in respect to water, hydronium, light, okay, light, infrared light, sunlight, electromagnetic frequencies, which light is, when you look at the color spectrum of red, orange, yellow, blue, indigo, violet, this rainbow color we know as a visual manifestation of actual frequencies, frequencies being the frequency of wavelengths, wavelengths being that which is being waved, what is being waved, the ether is being waved by way of perturbations, which is the signal, so to speak, or the information that is being propagated to us. You follow? So, zinc transport, zinc transport. All right. One area of research where H3O2 has been proposed to play a role is in the transport and utilization of nutrients by cells. It is thought that H3O2 may help to attract and transport various nutrients, including minerals like zinc, to hydrophilic surfaces on cell membranes where they can be taken up and utilized by cells. This could involve various metabolic processes, enzymes, DNA synthesis, and pathways that are involved in nutrient transport and utilization. Okay, so zinc plays a major role. And zinc has a relationship with copper because anytime you're dealing with a battery, electrochemical battery, electrodes are usually zinc and copper, and they are exchanging between the atomic number of 29 and the atomic number of 30. They are exchanging the electrons between each of them, through some type of medium, in between. All right. So the H3O2 molecule, also known as the hydrate and ion of hydronium, is a proposed molecule that has been theorized to play a role in cellular processes within the human body. It is thought that H3O2, like other forms of structured water, may have unique properties that differ from regular water molecules, such as, excuse me, such as negative charge and the ability to store energy. Okay. So H3O2 molecule is the unit, so to speak. Okay. So you know how you got subatomic particles, electrons, protons, neutrons. Those are the basic units that make up atoms, just like quarks are the basic, gluons are the basic units that make up, the nucleus, protons, right? And then um, um, you got cells that make up the basic units of tissues, and tissues is the basic unit that makes up organs, and organs are the basic units that make up systems, and systems are the basic unit that make up the body. Well, the H3O2 is the basic unit of structured water, of the hexagonal lattice. Lattice means like like a fence, okay, like a chain, like a design, okay, a interlinking design. When you see a hexagonal fix, a chicken wire fence, all right, that's a lattice. Okay, a sheet of ice is a lattice of a lattice of layers of actually hexagonal lattices of frozen water crystals. You see, so that's what a lattice is. So it is the basic unit of the hexagonal lattice of the structured water that forms layers next to hydrophilic water loving surfaces such as proteins in the body, and our body is mainly aqueous. So there's energy always present. Energy is not defined by what is used. That is work. Okay. So something that is discharging and dissipating energy doesn't define energy. Energy is defined as what is stored. So water is our energy. It is the stored energy that is liberated, and we're going to get into that shortly. If y'all are feeling this information, if you like where I'm coming from, I would say hit the like button, leave a comment below. You want to support what I'm doing, soionicbotanicals.com. Click the link in the description. Get yourself some Nesut Nectar. Matter of fact, this is what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to take a little swig right now. Let me get a little bit of. Mm, yeah, that's it. That's the stuff. Go upgrade my jeans real quick. All right. So let's go into the next one. Cell hydration, another area of research where H3O2 has been proposed to play a role in cellular communication. It is thought that the negative charge of H3O2 may help to facilitate the flow of charged particles, such as ions or electrons, which could be involved in signaling between cells. This could involve various system and pathways, such as the nervous system, the immune system, which rely on cellular communications to function properly. All right. All right. So, H3O2 in its structural format is able to not only provide you with a surplus of negative charge, which we use as our currency. Okay, ATP is not the currency. The currency is actually the charge and it and the energy itself, the power itself. That's the current. So these negative ions that are provided, which represents reduction, the check or the bank deposit, so to speak, as opposed to the bill or the bank withdrawal. Okay, accounts receivable as opposed to accounts payable. That is what this is, and HGO2 provides that. And yes, you will find it in the fruit. You will find it in the pulp. And I say, you want to see structured water in real time, take a grape, okay? Pluck it off the vine. Look at the how divine the grape is off the vine and see its spherical shape and its plumpness and its succulence, and then eat that grape, and it's juicy and it's sweet and it keeps its shape even after you bite into it and indulge in the escape and the flavor and the resveratrol. All of these properties inside of this grape is just fulfilling you, right? Now, take another grape and sit it on the counter and observe it and its geometry. And after a day, it's still there. And after some time, once it start losing water, it'll start to shrivel up and become a raisin. But take another grape and put it in the freezer and let it freeze. And you'll take it out and look at it. And it looks and appears to be like a grape, just with a little bit of frost on it. But as it thaws out, the water loses its structure because the grape becomes mushy and loses its form. And if you eat that mushy grape, it ain't going to taste like the other grape. That's how you know there's a difference in between the two, and that the structure plays a huge role in it all. The more you know. All right, let's keep going. All right, now we're going to turn it up. We're going to turn it up, y'all. Coherence domains. Let's keep this thing moving. What is coherence domains? What are CDs, baby? Peace and love. Peace and love to the family. Love and light. Hit the like button, like and subscribe. Go to psionicbotanicals.com. Get yourself something. If you don't want no honey, get some herbs. You know what I'm saying? Get some phyto. Get some Sotriol D. Get some C3. You know what I'm saying? Get some Perilla. Get yourself something, because whatever products I'm selling are all there to reinforce the properties of your quantum biophysical nature. All right, so quantum domains, regions within water where molecules are organized into a coherent, ordered state due to their interactions with nearby molecules or biological structures. These domains are believed to exhibit quantum like behavior, with the water molecules acting in unison, similar to the behavior observed in quantum systems like superconductors and pew, 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 lasers. Yeah, we turning it up now. So, we're going to talk about coherence domains, which exist inside water. Okay, there are these little pockets inside water that have powerful energy inside. We're talking about 100 nanometers. So let me speak real quick on the dielectric constant of water. The dielectric constant of water being that of 80, with distilled water being the highest out of all the waters. This is why I state that you want to use distilled water when you're making your teas, your infusions, your decoctions, anything herbal, anything chemistry, soaking, cold, infuse, whatever. Distilled water, because it's neutral and it has the highest dielectric constant. What does that mean? That means that it has the ability to, dissolve properties the most efficiently. Why? Because its dielectric constant is high. What does that mean? It has the ability to interface with the electromagnetic field around to such a degree that it can connect with the electromagnetic properties of other materials, thus being able to manipulate those materials without it affecting itself, so to speak. So it keeps its basic nature as it incorporates the other things inside of it. Now, all water has a certain dielectric constant, and water itself just has a high dielectric constant compared to other solutions and other materials. But for a liquid, it is off the charts, and out of all the waters, distilled water is going to be the highest. The dielectric constant is proportional to temperature. And as the temperature increases, the dielectric constant increases. As the temperature decreases, the dielectric constant decreases. How do we know that? Okay, if you make soup, if you make a tea, if you make a decoction, you increase the temperature. What are you doing? You're making your tea. You can see the elements being dissolved in it, but you ain't gonna make just like cold soup. You ain't just gonna make no cold tea. I mean, you can, but it ain't gonna be nothing like turning that heat on. You know what I'm saying? Peace, and love, Moon Rocker. What's good, brother? I know you out there. I know you out there getting that work in. The temperature just changed. I know you're loving it. We going hard in the paint up in here. You know, hit that like button. Go and throw the video to somebody who need it. All right. So that's the dielectric constant of water. So in water, water contains plasma inside, high energy plasma inside the water. You know what I'm saying? So we have small little 100 nanometer bubbles, all right, called coherence domains. You got bulk water, and then you have structured water. And within inside the water, you have these 100 nanometer coherence domains. The difference between coherence and incoherence is the difference between a light bulb and a laser. A light bulb, you hit the switch, radiated light fills the room up, ain't hurting nobody. It's soft. It really doesn't do much except illuminate the room so you can see. A laser will put a hole through your ass. Yeah. It's the coherence of that light. Okay. It's a point source where the light bulb is non-point source. Well, while the laser is a point source, so it's more intense, just like a magnet is a point source object, hence why it's so intense in regards to its influence on the surrounding materials and environment. So the 100 nanometer size of coherence domains containing high energy plasma refers to the scale at which these domains are theorized to exist in water. These plasma domains are believed to have a diameter of approximately 100 nanometers and contains high energy state of matter known as plasma. Plasma is an ionized gas consisting of free electrons and positive ions, and it exhibits unique properties such as high electrical conductivity and ability to generate magnetic fields. So we got to understand that in electricity and magnetism, we have a conjugated phenomena where they are not devoid of one another. Electricity is really just magnetism. Electricity is a byproduct of magnetism. Okay, it's really a hybrid of magnetism and dielectricity. All right, and what it is magnetism is a centrifugal divergence, a toric field, so to speak. Like think of a water spout as it shoots up and it spills over and it creates that umbrella shape. That's the torus. That is the vibration of the expansion, the centrifugal divergence. Divergent means to diverge. Okay. If you have a highway and the lane diverges, that means your lanes are going to split. Okay. They're going to open up. Okay. If lanes converge as you're coming, off onto the highway, that kind of side street access ramp, so to speak, it converges onto the highway. So electricity is convergence, centripetal convergence. When you think of the golden spiral, the infinite compression of the golden spiral in which it infinitely spirals in on itself without it collapsing, that is the essence of electricity, while the infinite expansion all right, is represented by magnetism and the production of form. So magnetism is the creation of form and material and matter, hence why it's magnitude and magnetism. And electricity represents the counter space, thus that's counter what is spatial. You see what I'm saying? Do you feel me? Magnetism is woman because it's curvy and it's thick and it's voluptuous, and electricity is men because it's angular. Think of how a thunder. What does electricity look like? Are there curves in electricity? No, they're jagged. Damn. That's masculine. Okay, y'all rocking with me, man? Yes, coherence domains contains concentrated energy in the form of high intensity plasma, in the form of millions of electrons, free electrons. Anytime you got free electrons, that's just pure negative energy. Anytime you have an electron off of an atom, that is plasma, because plasma is the free subatomic particles that make the atom up. Yeah, you could take C3 without heating it up. You can eat it straight out the bottle. You can make it into a tea. You can throw it in a smoothie. You can incorporate it into foods and desserts and things of that nature too. You can mix it into flour and stuff like that, and use the gel as a replacement for yeast to make bread. C3 is what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? It's that thing. All right, so the CD plasma effects, or the coherence domain plasma effects, facilitate the efficient transfer of energy within living systems, increase the reactivity of ions and other charged particles, potentially affecting chemical reactions and other processes, and affect the structure, stability, and uh, the function of biomolecules such as proteins and nucleic acids. All right. Now we have something. Now we starting to get a little fancy. We getting fancy pants now. We're gonna get fan because we talking about quantum biophysics. I know y'all didn't think this was gonna all be simple. I'm gonna make it as simple as possible. You know, so make it simple as possible, but it's still gonna have a little bit of weight on it. You know what I'm saying? I have a little bit of weight. Now I don't know how it's about to have some weight on it if it's light, because light carries no mass. You know what I'm saying? I was just saying. When sitting water in the sunlight for an hour to structure, how long does it stay structured? I say just drink the water. It's going to stay structured unless you put it in an environment that could collapse its structure, such as one that has a high amount of 5G, that has a high amount of blue light, that has a high amount of negative energies and forces that can influence that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hit the like button as y'all coming in, y'all. Hit the like button. If y'all want to support, go to soionicbotanicals.com. If you can't remember that, the link is in the description. Takes you straight to the honey pot, which is the Nesut Nectar honey. And just for that, I'm going to take another swig of honey. Wow. Just in honor. Mm, 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 mm. Oh, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's the stuff. Mm. So good. So good. All right. So, ion cyclotron resonance. Okay. Just listen to the fucking word, bro. That shit just sound dope. All right. So, ion cyclotron resonance. Ion cyclotron resonance is a phenomenon that affects charged particles in the presence of a magnetic field. Okay. When ions such as amino acids in their ionized forms, meaning amino acids in their charged forms, are exposed to a magnetic field, they experience a force that causes them to move in a circular or a spiral path. Now, look how protein. See how they say ATP is the currency of the make. Look how the functionality of water moves proteins, okay, and gets them to go in certain directions, move a certain way, and perform certain functions without them having to exhibit any type of energy themselves. The movement and orientation of charged particles within the amino acids influencing chemical reactions or interactions with other biomolecules. All right. Yes, big shout out to Mama Pill, Red Blue, and Mr. G for sure. For sure. Love to the fam. All right. As we push on. So we just talked about coherence domains and these small little 100 nanometer size bubbles that exist in water that contains millions of free flowing electrons, which is equivalent to saying a certain amount of high energy plasma that is accessible to you as you consume. This is why we have to drink water. This is why we need structured water. This is the properties that structured water provides inside our body. The hydration, the nomos aspect of our being that exists within inside of us allows us to perpetuate our energy indefinitely. But if the water gets contaminated, dirty, murky, or is removed, we age and become more senescent, thus leading to our demise. But we don't have to be in our demise. And when we get into part two, I'm going to be talking about such godly powers, but instead of talking about them from a abstract perspective, I'm you know how I do. I'm gonna show it. I'm gonna prove. I'm gonna show and prove how all that shit go down. But this is just part one, okay? Yeah, they're definitely this. So when I talked about the coherence domain and I talked about the property of cyclotron resonance, okay, of ionic cyclotron resonance, yes, that is the vortex, that is the spiral. Okay, remember, electricity is the vortex going in, okay, centripetal. Okay, while magnetism is the vortex going out, centrifugal. So you're going to have vortices that are going to suck things in, pull things in, compress things, condense things, okay, take things to counter space. All right. But then you're going to have things that are getting spewed out and sent, and shot out to certain places. You know what I mean? As well. All right. So ATP and protein unfolding. So what is ATP? Okay. ATP is adenosine triphosphate. Okay. Adenosine triphosphate. Adenosine triphosphate is a adenine molecule. Okay. Which is one of the four, well, actually it's five nitrogenous bases. You know what I'm saying? Because you got uracil, to replace cytosine, right? But you got five nitrogenous bases, okay? And one of them is adenine that usually links with thymine, all right? And then you combine that with a ribose sugar, all right, and a phosphate group, all right? A phosphate group. If you look at the middle image, okay, let me zoom in. Okay, this middle image right here is a ATP molecule. Okay. This blue and black molecule. All right. This particular part of this complex molecule is adenine. This black and red next to it is ribose. Okay. And then this yellow and orange, which I usually keep by me too. Where is my buddy? Okay. Okay, that's a phosphate group. See that tetrahedral shape it has too? All right. So when you put the phosphate group, okay, the ribose sugar and the adenine together, you get adenosine monophosphate. Monophosphate. Okay. But when you add two more phosphate groups to it, you have adenosine triphosphate. Adenosine triphosphate. And what sits in between, but what connects the third phosphate with the second phosphate, so the adenosine diphosphate with the final phosphate group to make it triphosphate, is magnesium. And when that gets involved in this, y'all are gonna believe that God is in you. I guarantee it. All right, so what you see here in this first picture is beautiful, beautiful image. Like, oh my God, I love this picture. Look at this thing. Look at what you're looking at right there. This is it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Look at this is you on a nano scale. Like, come on. Look at the architecture. Look at the archdegrieture. You know what I'm saying? The architecture. Okay, what you're looking at is ATP synthase. Okay, right. Let me put it in the same shape it is on the screen so you can see. Okay, same molecule, right? ATP synthase. And what this molecule does is it has the ability to convert adenosine diphosphate to adenosine triphosphate. So this is the enzyme that is able to create ATP. All right. And what you see it's sitting in a phospholipid bilayer in the membrane. This is the inter. You got the outer membrane, the inner membrane, the intermembrane space, and the matrix. So you actually see the C ring sitting in the inner membrane, right? And that larger portion that's at the top, that's actually the matrix of the mitochondria, where the high negative charge exists. Above the membrane where the C ring is on the bottom of the screen, that space, that intermembrane space, is where the high positive charge or the acidic hydrogen proton density exists at. Okay. And it gets fed into this mechanism, this turbine, as it spins 1,500 times a second, generating the electromagnetic field that is your being, that is your mind, okay, that we know as our aura. It is created by this mechanism right here. This spinning mechanism is what's producing your electromagnetic field. All right. Beautiful structure. Oh my goodness. I love it. I love it. I love it. I know that's an Ant-Man photo for show, for show. All right. So the ATP molecule, okay? Discover the ATP molecule, the universal energy currency exchange of biological systems. Look at what I said now. I didn't say the universal currency, all right? I said the universal energy currency exchange of biological systems. Energy exists all around, and ATP is the mechanism to assist in its liberation. It's like an ATM card and a pin. It is not the money itself. It is not a money. It is not a money. That's my little typo right there. It is not the money itself, but the means to access the currency. You hear what I'm saying? The debit card and the PIN number is not the money. It is not the current. But we always felt ATP was no, it's not the current. Okay. It is the facilitator to access the current which exists all around us. Okay. Such as lungs are not air, but the respiratory system is a mechanism that provides a means for us to access the life force energy that exists in the air. Understand the difference. Protein folding. The currency lies in the water. When ATP unfolds proteins, it exposes its charged amino acids. This increased surface area of hydrophilic molecules are now enveloped in the layers of EZ exclusion zone slash H3O2 plasma gel-like structured water. The liberated negative ions can now be accessed by the proteins to do work. Yes, that's exactly what ATP ACE is like. Thanos snapping like Thanos do. All right. So check that out. ATP don't got the energy itself. ATP is a technology. ATP is able to allow or influence and initiate the process for proteins to unfold themselves, because when they're folded up and they're in their final form, there's as you see with this ATP synthase, there's amino acids folded in on the inside of everything. Is not exposed to water. There's hydrophobic areas. You know what I'm saying? There's all types of nooks and crannies. So when you unfold a protein, you it's like you're unfolding a piece of paper that been folded into 16 pieces, and you unfold it to a full sheet. And I got all those creases and stuff, but guess what? The light that was in the room shining on that paper was not able to touch all sides of that paper as it's folded up. Okay, let me get a piece of paper, because I'm like, I could just show y'all, right? So I got this napkin, right? If I shine light on this napkin, the parts folded up are not going to be exposed to the light. They are in the darkness. Just like a protein folded up in its final form is not touching water. It does not have access to the water or to the light or to certain frequencies. But when ATP connects with the protein, it unfolds the protein. So now the increased surface area of the protein and all its charged ionic amino acids are now exposed to the water. What then ends up happening is layers of that hexagonal lattice that I said starts to form on hydrophilic surfaces. Well, the amino acids are hydrophilic surfaces, and it's going to form around, and that surplus of negative energy, that ions, that charge is going to feed that protein, give that protein the energy it needs. You understand? So that protein can do its work. So this is what ATP does. All right. ATP is a hydrolysis activator. It splits water. It liberates the energy that is being stored in the water. This is why in the Hall of Judgment, the heart, or AB, right? AB is known as a vessel. It is a pot, a storage container. What do you usually store in those vessels and them vases and pot? It's water. All right, it's water. Okay, and then it's weighed against the feather, because the stored water is capacitance, and the liberated or the discharge is a feather, because that's what feathers do in the atmosphere. Is they discharge static electric forces so motherfuckers can fly. Hit the like button if you're digging what I'm saying. If you're grooving with me, if you're riding with me right now, because we going in the wormhole right now. I want y'all to go down to soionicbotanicals.com, get yourself some products, get some C3, get some Phyto Omega 3, get some Sotriol D. Everything rhymes, don't it? Get some Nesut Nectar. You know what I'm saying? Get some get some Kuku Mecca. You know what I'm saying? Get some guaco. Get some mucilate. You know what I'm saying? Get some perilla oil. You know, it's all there for you. You know, we know we ain't ready to fly. We are flying. We just ain't realizing that we flying yet. All right. So lastly, protein misfolding. Protein misfolding, dehydration, and the collapse of structured water leads to diseases such as Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. So when you deal with all of these neurodegenerative diseases, you know, these neurodegenerative diseases all give rise, or all byproducts of the collapse of the structured water mechanism. All of the based on misfolding of proteins because of the lack of ATP and the lack of magnesium. You know what I'm saying? And then the abundance of the toxicity, you know. So we got the ATP molecule, which is produced by the ATP synthase, okay? Where it produces ATP from ADP, adenosine triphosphate, from adenosine monophosphate by the addition of an additional phosphate group. And the reason why that's so important is because magnesium gets placed in the mist between that second phosphate group and the third phosphate group, where it's going from a diphosphate to a triphosphate, adenosine diphosphate to adenosine triphosphate. This is what ATP synthase facilitates in the matrix of the mitochondria. The ATP synthase is in the inner membrane, the folds, which is known as the Christe or the Christ. Okay, so you got Christ, you got you got the matrix. There's a lot going on. You know what I'm saying? So if you like this video, hit the like button. We going hard. All right, so now we're going to talk about Maxwell's equations, because you can't understand electricity and magnetism and physics and you don't know what Maxwell's equations are. So as opposed to just reading out Maxwell's equations as they are, I put them in a I gave some analogies so you could visualize and kind of grasp the concept of what each four of these principles actually mean with the phenomena of electricity and magnetism. Okay. Discover how Maxwell's equations, the cornerstone of classical electromagnetism, has found a new home in biology and biophysics. Learn about the electromagnetic fields that exist in living tissues and their potential role in health and disease. Okay, so we have an inductor coil here with some copper. We got some electricity. We got some plasma. We got some magnetism, just to kind of show, some examples of some of the forces and things of that nature. Okay, so Maxwell's equations are a set of four fundamental equations that describe the behavior of electric and magnetic fields. They are named after James Clerk Maxwell, who first formulated them in the 19th century. Okay. So you're going to hear the word Gauss and you're going to hear the word Faraday, because Gauss is a scientist that was able to provide, breakthroughs in magnetism and understanding the magnetism. And then Michael Faraday, was in regards to electricity. Hence why, one of the main things I usually tell people to get in regards to 5G phones, devices, and so forth and so on, are Faraday cages and Faraday bags that block electromagnetic frequencies. Well, that device, that technology is named after Michael Faraday. All right. All right, all right. Get your C3, get your Fido, get your Nesut Nectar. You know what I'm saying? Jump on the site. You know what I mean? Go for it, baby. I appreciate it. Thanks for the love. Thanks for the love. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I got a lot of Love Bush glycerite made up. I just gotta strain it, bottle it, and put it up. I got a lot. It's been curing for almost a year now, and it's crazy because it's purple. Like, it's crazy. It went from it's green, and now when I strain it, the liquid is purple. Dynamic. Okay. But nah, Tariq Energetic 7, that ain't nothing but love, brother. I appreciate you. All right, so first principle is Gauss's law for electricity, okay, known as electrostatics. All right. So just imagine a group of your friends, okay, and y'all are all playing with water balloons. The electric field is like the water inside the balloons y'all are playing with. And the charges are you and your friends holding the balloons. Gauss's law says that the total amount of water, which is the electric field, that comes out of the balloons depends on how many friends, which represents the charges, are holding them. All right. So electric fields and charges are like water balloons and the friends holding them. Gauss's law for magnetism. Think of magnets as if they are rubber bands. You can stretch and bend them, but you can't cut them into separate pieces. A cut rubber band, it ain't a rubber band no more. You know what I'm saying? It's just some stretchy ass material. The magnetic field is like the rubber band that always forms a closed loop. Gauss's law for magnetism says that you can't have a magnet with just one pole. north or south. There will always be both. Analogy, magnetic field lines are like unbreakable rubber bands. Okay. So you will always have a dipole. Okay. You will always have a polar molecule that has a north and a south, like water is the the main polar molecule we deal with the hydrogen having a positive charge and oxygen having a negative charge. What they're saying here is that magnetism deals with closed loops, similar to rubber bands. The functionality of a rubber band is the basis that it is a circle and it is a closed loop. If you cut a rubber band, it loses its function. And if you cut it, you see how much energy is released too, right? Think about that. Faraday's law of induction. Imagine you're spinning a bicycle wheel with a card attached to it. Remember back in the days, this is for my old school heads. You're on the bike. They put the card on the spokes of the wheel, on the tire and the spokes of the wheel, so that when the wheel moves, it you know what I mean? So as you start the pump, it'd be a frr, 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 right. That's how the flapping card sounds. So imagine you're a spinning bicycle wheel with a card attached to it. The faster you spin the wheel, the more the card flaps. The faster you, the more the Faraday's law says that when a magnetic field changes quickly, it creates an electric field, the flapping card, that goes around it. Analogy, changing magnetic field and induced electric fields are like a spinning bicycle wheel and a flapping card. All right. One induces the other. And there are two different mechanisms and motions going on. One is spinning, the other one's going up and down. So you have one having a spiral motion, one having angular momentum. So you have perpendicular forces. You have these two forces that are perpendicular to one another that combine creates what? A coaxial circuit or a propagation of a spiral. Hey, y'all follow what I'm talking about? Y'all feel me? You feel me? We having fun up in here, bro. I am. I might be talking to myself. You know what I'm saying? All right. So number 4, Ampere-Maxwell law. Okay, with Maxwell's addition. Now, this is the 4th one. Okay. Picture a group of people dancing in a circle, holding hands. All right. Yeah, I mean, we used to do that as kids. We don't do that type of shit no more because we're too goddamn cool and people got cooties and cat going to think you soft if you holding another man's hand, even if it's a whole bunch of people holding hands. You can't even do it in a prayer circle. Nothing, But just picture it. Picture a group of people dancing in a circle, holding hands. That's the electric current. Their movement creates a breeze, okay? The magnetic field around them. Now, imagine that the music gets faster. That is the changing electric field. And the breeze gets stronger. The Ampere-Maxwell law says that the magnetic fields are created by both the moving people, which is the electric current, and the change in music speed, the tempo, changing electric field. Okay. Analogy, magnetic fields are like the breeze created by dancing people and the changing music speed. All right. So these are the 4 principles of Maxwell's equations. Now, these ain't them verbatim because these are analogies I'm giving you to understand, but the titles are the titles of each one of the 4 principles. And understanding these analogies and even making your own and making your own mnemonics can give you a better understanding of the fundamental properties that exist in electromagnetic phenomena. Yeah, that was the ring around the rosy, pocket full of hosey, ashes, ashes, y'all fall down. Exactly. All of our games were based on high science because they were there to program us to get an understanding of the world. And that is exactly why it has been taken away and motherfuckers ain't doing that no more, which is a shame. Okay. So let's see how these 4 principles apply in a human body. Because like, okay, KT, that's dope that you provided these analogies for Maxwell equations, but how do Maxwell equations equate to my body? Okay, so one of them would be the resting membrane potential. Okay, resting membrane potential. All right, and what we have is the phospholipid bilayer, which makes up the membrane of the cells. Okay, in nerve and muscle cells, there's a difference in charge between the inside and outside of the cell membrane, known as the resting membrane potential. This is maintained by ion pumps and channels that help regulate the flow of charged particles, ions, across the membrane. This process involves electric fields and is related to Gauss's law for electricity. Okay. I mean, when I've gone, I've used the dental X-rays. So I think because it's so small, you're not doing it like all the time. Like I think it's okay. You know what I mean? Because they got to get that reading. But yeah, excuse me. Yeah, culture dances definitely generate electromagnetism. All culture dances deals with up and down motions, right? Coupled with what? Spinning. Okay, up and down, spinning. Forward and to the side with spinning. It's twirls, it's angle and turn. Okay. Even with martial arts, it's arrow is bow and arrow. Okay. One leg is bowed, the other one is straight. That's how you distribute energy in self-defense. Okay, so ATP synthase is a protein complex found in the inner mitochondrial membrane where it plays a crucial role in producing ATP, the primary energy currency of cells. The spinning motion of the ATP synthase rotor, driven by the flow of protons across the membrane, can be associated with the generation of a weak magnetic field due to the movement of charged particles. Although the field is very weak, the magnetic field lines would form closed loops in accordance with Gauss's law of magnetism. But see, it might be a weak magnetic field in respect to it being a ATP synthase, but when you're dealing with trillions of ATP synthase spinning simultaneously 1500 times a second throughout your body, concentrating your heart and mind, it is no longer a weak magnetic field. Okay, just keep that in mind. Aromatic compounds such as benzene, which is at the center of the flavanols, okay, the polyphenols, the alkaloids, all right, the aromatic amino acids of tryptophan, phenylalanine, and tyrosine, right, have electrons in conjugated double bonds that can move around the ring structure, creating a circulating electron cloud known as a ring current. When an external magnetic field is applied to an aromatic compound, the changing magnetic field induces a circular electric current within the ring. According to Faraday's law of induction, the induced current then generates a magnetic field that opposes the applied external magnetic field, giving rise to the chemical phenomenon known as aromatic ring shielding in nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy, NMR. Let me zoom in on this ring current. Y'all hear me talk about this all the time. The aromatic ring current is actually the logo and the emblem on Spider-Man, the Sony MCU Spider-Man played by Tom Holland. If you look at his chest, that is what he has there, is the aromatic ring current, because he represents magnetism, right? Right? And why? Because his mentor is none other than Iron Man. That's right, Iron Man. So aromatic ring current, aromatic ring oriented perpendicular to a strong magnetic field, delocalized pi electrons, producing a small local magnetic field. Okay. Opposes applied field in middle of ring, but reinforces applied field outside of ring. Okay. So just to know what y'all are looking at, the same way you see this six-sided 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? This is an aromatic ring, but how you're looking at it in this picture is this way, the tabletop view. Okay, so it's flat and you're looking at it directly like a tabletop. Okay, so the delocalized pi electrons are forming into an Ouroboros on the the top half, which is what I'm trying to say, above the plane, okay, and below the plane. Essentially, the molecule is playing at like a plane of inertia, which would be the line of a magnet where the philosophically, like hypothetically, the north pole of the magnet emanates from, separated from the south part of the magnet where that energy emanates from. Because, you know, when you split a magnet in half, you don't have a north over here and a south over here. No, you got two more magnets because you have an inertial plane. So that's the same thing that happens in the cell when you perform mitosis, is those chromosomes lining up at the center are creating an inertial plane, so that as the cell multiplies, they call it cell division, it is not turning into two half parts of the cell, but rather two whole parts of the cell with an with a an inertial plane in each one. Okay. So this is essentially, you're looking at the flat tabletop version of that six-sided ring, which is in our aromatic amino acids. And as you could see, based on the magnetic field that occurs, it induces an electric current, and the electric current reinforces the magnetic field. The magnetic field reinforces the electric current. You know, we talking about some things. We talking about some things. Y'all gonna go back over this, but this is Faraday's law of induction, because you're inducing an electric current and you're inducing a magnetic field based upon the pi electrons that form a Ouroboros, or a current that looks like a snake eating its own tail. So, muscle contractions, muscle cells generate force and movement by contracting in response to electric signals. These electric signals, or action potentials, are generated by the movement of ions across the muscle cell membrane. The relationship between the electric current generated by ion movement and the resulting magnetic field can be explained by the Ampere Maxwell law. Okay, so we have an example of the Gauss law of electricity with the resting membrane potential. We have an example of Gauss's law of magnetism through ATP synthase. We have an example of Faraday's law of induction through the aromaticity, the aromatic ring current of our aromatic amino acids. And we have an example of Ampere Maxwell's law with muscle contraction. Okay, all inside the body. Oh, okay. So, woo, yeah, we about to go there. Are y'all ready? Are y'all ready? Hold on, son. Let me get some water. Dude, it's about to get funky right now, bro. Now we about to go in. Hold on. I need y'all to strap in like Guardians of the Galaxy. We about to hit some wormholes right now. Matter of fact, I need to take another swig of honey. I'm gonna give y'all an opportunity to go to psionicbotanicals.com, get yourself y'all Nesut Nectar, y'all Fido, y'all Sultry, y'all do whatever y'all gonna get. Y'all know y'all heard of CERN, and I know y'all heard of LINACs, you know, linear accelerators, particle accelerators. What if I told you that you have nanoparticle accelerators that exist inside your body, and it's been proven? Matter of fact, just so you know, before I even go into this, let me pull. Let me pull something up. Where is it? One second, y'all. Let me pull this up because I need to show y'all my reference. I need to cite this one because this one's so deep that I don't want y'all thinking I'm capping at all. But where is it? No. Boom, 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 boom. I'm gonna take this. Let me stop that screen. Right. Put this up. I'm gonna come right back to the presentation, but let me show y'all this first. All right, so this is energy development from elemental transmutations in biological systems by Solomon Goldfein, May 1978, U.S. Army Mobility Equipment Research and Development Command. Okay, Fort Belvoir, Virginia. It's all stamped. This is a declassified document. Declassified document. Okay. And it's talking about MgATP, magnesium adenosine triphosphate, and its ability to become a cyclotron particle accelerator inside our body on a molecular level. This is the paper. So just so y'all know. Okay? Just so y'all know. So let me go back. Be like, where does he find those wonderful toys? Yeah. Nano-sized particle accelerator in magnesium ATP molecules driving elemental transmutation in cells. I'm going to say that again. Nano-sized CERNs, okay? Particle accelerators in magnesium ATP molecules driving elemental transmutation in cells. ATP combined with magnesium is able collectively to form into a particle accelerator. And utilizing this technology to accelerate protons that are able to change one element to another in the human body. In addition to a lot of other shit. But how about the biological transmutation of the minerals in your body? That's what we about to get into. Okay. MgATP molecules can function as nano-sized accelerators driving nuclear transmutations within cells. The oscillatory electric field, hydrogen ions, and other components of the magnesium ATP structure work together to propel these ions along a helical path. This process allows hydrogen ions to gain enough energy to initiate elemental transmutations, potentially playing a role in cellular processes. What is KT talking about? All right, so let's talk about these in steps. So we got a magnesium ATP molecule. What is a magnesium ATP? So you got the ATP molecule, and remember what I said. In order for ATP to actually perform its functions, it needs magnesium situated between the diphosphate, the second phosphate group, and the third phosphate group of the ATP. Not directly like it's a phosphate, magnesium, phosphate. No, it's three phosphates, but bonded above it is a magnesium ATP, and the magnesium causes a conformational change in the molecule where now it's kind of curved. It has this kind of like spiral, like the number 9, and you can see it right here in this first one. This is the ribose. These are the three phosphate groups, and this is the adenine. And the adenines they're going to layer on top of each other, and it's going to create this kind of ring. Okay. Yeah, if you lack magnesium, they ain't no ATP. That's why it's so important to eat green, because green is chlorophyll. And what is at the center of chlorophyll? Magnesium. Okay. You know what I'm saying? All right. So we got the oscillatory electric field. All right, the oscillatory, like oscillations, the oscillatory electric field. Okay, the electric field that accompanies the oscillating current through the chain of magnesium 2 ions. It is crucial for accelerating charged particles. Okay, found in one of the compartments of the mitochondria, these ions can be accelerated by the oscillatory electric and magnetic fields. Now, what you see between the first two pictures, as I zoom in, is this one over here got one molecule. All right. All right. And the rings are showing, right? These are the rings of the adenine molecule. Okay. The adenine molecule. Okay. So you got this 6-sided, you got this 5-sided, but they're making these rings. Then you got the magnesium and the oxygen is highlighting the active components of the molecules that's building this particle accelerator, ATP molecule by ATP molecule. This one has 4. Okay. So you got 1, 2, and then 3, 4, and they're layered on top of each other, but they're kind of what do they call that? What they call it when it's not sidestepped. What is the word? When you got something kind of offset by a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Step it'll come to me, but you're doing it in a spiral. So you put one here and you put one there and you do one here and one here, but they're on top of each other, and you can see all of the rings that are forming. Okay. And then every picture after that is just more layers of the ATP molecule stacking on top of each other until you have all these rings, and the rings play a role with the structured water and the proton and the ions from the magnesium that's going to propel this damn proton like a slingshot, and it'll smack an element. Pow! You know what I'm saying? And you'll have what you have cold fusion reactions that are occurring inside of the body in order to either break down one element to another or build up one element to another. So the auxiliary control and propulsion of hydrogen ions by dipoles. The energized dipoles in the molecule structure help guide and propel hydrogen ions around a helical circle. Adenine ring current. The oscillating electric field induces an oscillating ring current in the adenine ring of the molecule. This secondary magnetic field affects hydrogen ions. All right. Then a tangential or we talking about like exponential, okay, tangential component of induced magnetic field, as from the oscillating electric field, which is inducing an electric ring current in the adenine ring of the molecule. The secondary magnetic field affects hydrogen ions. Hydrogen ions pass under the adenine ring. They are attracted and accelerated, okay, by the tangential component of the induced magnetic field. The hydrogen ions follow a circular helical path through the magnesium ATP molecules, following them to gain enough energy to penetrate an atom's nucleus and initiate a nuclear transmutation. So look, so you can see that the opacity was dropped down on the molecules, but you can still see how they're stacked on top of each other, right? In a spiral formation. And based on all the rings, it creates now this large ring, right? And then you have the oxygens around guiding these hydrogen ions as they get propelled and accelerated forward at such a force that they're able to penetrate the nucleus of certain elements so that they can turn it from one to another. This is what's going on in your body. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? This is what's going on in your body. So now let's do some analogies so you can understand what I was just saying. The 6 steps of the MgATP particle accelerator simplified. Okay, so the oscillatory electric field. Imagine a swinging pendulum that creates a rhythmic push for a child on a swing. The oscillatory electric field similarly provides the necessary push to charge particles like hydrogen ions in a rhythmic manner. So you put your kid on the swing and you push them and they swing it, right? And you push them and they swing high, you push them some more, you swing higher. Or, you stop pushing them and they pump themselves. Remember how you kick your legs out, you bring them in, you kick your legs out, you bring them in. Why does that work? Why, when you fold your leg up and open it up, fold it up at the right, you got to have the right time, and you can't do it at any time in the pendulum swing. But at the right time in the pendulum swing, you'll go from here to damn near going in a flipping over the top of the swing, right? So this is the oscillation. Okay, this is the oscillation. So then hydrogen ions, think of the hydrogen ions as small toy cars. Okay, we're talking about back in the day Hot Wheels, all right, that can be accelerated using the oscillation that we just talked about. All right, and magnetic fields created within the MgATP molecule size accelerator, because we know when you would get them racetracks, you put them around and they'd have them little areas that accelerate them quicker. Boom, 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 right? The auxiliary control and propulsion of hydrogen ions by the dipoles. Now picture the dipoles as a series of magnets that are along the racetrack that help guide and speed up the toy cars, which are the hydrogen ions, as they navigate the course. Okay, picture this. Picture me rolling. Adenine ring current. Imagine a spinning top, okay, that generates a magnetic field when placed near other magnets. The adenine ring current works similarly, generating a secondary magnetic field that influences the hydrogen ions movement. So we're talking about more magnetic field dynamics occurring that helps to step up the magnetic field that was already influencing the movement of the toy cars. Okay, the tangential component of induced magnetic field, envision a curved slide. Okay, because them racetracks got the curved slides, right? That the toy car, the hydrogen ion, moves along, picking up speed due to the shape and the angle of the slide, because the slide going down and turning is going to make it, it's going to sling it, right? The tangential component of the induced magnetic field works in a similar way to accelerate the hydrogen ions. Lastly, circular helical path of hydrogen ion. Picture a spiral-shaped roller coaster that the toy car or hydrogen ion rides along, gaining speed and energy as it progresses through the magnesium ATP molecules. This path allows hydrogen ions to amass enough energy to initiate nuclear transmutation. Woo! This is going on a molecular level inside of you. ATP, along with magnesium, is able to compile itself until it forms into a particle accelerator using hydrogen ions as a I want to say a weapon, but as like a high intensity, a bullet, so to speak, to smash the nuclear core of other atoms and turn them into others. And let me give you an example of what I mean by that. Biological transmutation, cellular alchemy through MgATP accelerators. Harnessing the power of nano-sized accelerators within MgATP molecules, cells can potentially drive nuclear transmutations, transforming elements such as sodium, potassium, calcium into others like magnesium, calcium, and iron. This intricate process highlights the remarkable complexity and adaptability of cellular mechanisms. Further research into these transmutations may unveil new insights into the fundamental processes of life. Let me get some likes, y'all. Let me get some likes. When I'm gonna have a lesson when I'm on that blue. Maybe next, maybe part 2. How about I take a couple drops on part 2. All right, go to soionicbotanicals.com and hit the link in the description box if you're interested in supporting me and So Ionic Botanicals. All right, so sodium. All right, sodium is Na, natrium, atomic number 11. This process of this particle accelerator has theoretically would have the ability, right, to convert sodium of atomic number 11 into magnesium atomic number 12, or vice versa, turn magnesium to sodium. Okay, because magnesium is atomic number 12, sodium is atomic number 11. Remember, an atomic number is based on the number of particles in its nucleus, right? So it has an 11. It could turn it into a 12. So you could turn sodium to magnesium. You could turn potassium to calcium. You could turn manganese to iron. You could turn phosphorus to calcium. You could turn nitrogen to carbon, all right, and oxygen. You could turn carbon into nitrogen and oxygen. You could turn hydrogen, all right, and combine it with oxygen, form water. You could turn sulfur into selenium. You could turn copper into zinc. You could turn silica into phosphorus. Huh? And the other way around, phosphorus to silica, zinc to copper, selenium to sulfur, oxygen, right? Or rather water into oxygen and hydrogen, nitrogen into carbon, carbon into nitrogen, calcium into phosphorus, iron into manganese, calcium into potassium, and magnesium into sodium. Through the process of this particle accelerator that is built by the molecule of MgATP, you are able to use hydrogen ions, hydrogen, to change and transmute one mineral in your body to the other. And you wonder why breatharians are healthy, and you wonder why fasting is so beneficial, and autophagy and mitophagy, and you wonder why you have all these people that haven't eaten in years but they're healthy than a mug. Why? Because they're utilizing the properties of MgATP, and you can build and create your own elements and molecules in your body all on your own, especially when you're getting sunlight and you're breathing correctly and you're in a very healthy and proper environment. But if you are eating high intensity electrical superfoods and herbs, you can see just how beneficial it could be. you know so today we went over some things. You know what I'm saying? We talked about the Kazima effect, H3O2 in the fourth phase of water, coherence domains, ATP and protein folding, Maxwell's equations, nano-sized particle accelerator, and MgATP molecules driving elemental transmutations in cells with images, baby, with pictures. All right. And the biological transmutation of the elements inside of the human body. So yeah, we talk about being a light body all the time. This is it. So yeah, in my next trick, we about to take it up another notch in part 2. I just wanted to share this information with y'all today. I know y'all probably gonna revisit it, watch it again, but make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you leave comments, if you enjoyed the information. As I said, hit the link in the description, go to Sorionic. That's so you can support me. I don't do the cash apps and all that. Just get a product so we can reciprocate. You can get some out of it. You know what I mean? I would suggest you get a honey pot, or at least some honey drops. And ooh, yeah, that's the stuff. And I want to thank all of y'all for coming out. I'll be back with part 2 of this presentation, where I said we're gonna, if you thought this was deep, we about to go into a little bit more. But I look forward to going in that as well. Take this all with a grain of salt. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just a naga with an afro. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, thanks all of y'all for joining in, tuning in. I'll talk to all of y'all soon. Peace and love.